What it do, Dream Team? It's your boy Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with Daniel Ricciardo, or is it Ricciardo, actually return to F1. I've seen multiple videos that says he's coming back to Red Bull, and some videos says he's not coming back, and then he, know what I'm saying? But I know Sir Checo is driving for Red Bull, and I believe every team only has 2 drivers. So would he take Checo's place, or what's going on? But we're gonna try to find out in this video. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Oh, you got Daniel!
The 2023 Formula One grid has missed one of the most successful drivers of the turbo hybrid era. Daniel Ricciardo has been using his new role as Red Bull's reserve driver to potentially push for a return to the grid.
Oh, he's a reserve driver right now.
Via their junior team at AlphaTauri. But is there any real justification for Red Bull to bring back the Honey Badger? It's an interesting change of mentality from the veteran Australian. At the end of 2022, McLaren bought out the remaining year of Ricciardo's contract, essentially paying him not to come to work anymore, replacing him with fellow Aussie Oscar Piastri, who has objectively been closer on pace to Lando Norris than Ricciardo was. Ricciardo had offers to stay on the grid this year, with Haas making a serious offer for him to replace Mick Schumacher, but Ricciardo himself admitted the stress of F1 had gotten too much, and he wanted to take a year out to weigh up his options. But Ricciardo's power in F1's driver market is much less than it was. He left Red Bull for Renault in 2019 because he didn't want to be a number 2 driver in a team that was clearly becoming Max Verstappen's. And by turning down that offer from Haas for 2023, Ricciardo made a clear statement that he wasn't prepared to just settle for any seat on the grid. And yet, according to the latest press reports, Ricciardo's dreaming of a Red Bull return and is now prepared to drive for AlphaTauri to get there, the team that currently sits at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship. So what's changed?
So AlphaTauri, is that... I put it in basketball terms, okay? Because I'm a basketball fan. I know like all the rules of basketball, and I'm starting to become a fan of F1, but I don't know everything. So is AlphaTauri like in the NBA, you have a G League, which is like a developmental league. So you know what I'm saying? So they develop, and hopefully they get their shot at the NBA. But NBA is for the top guys, and then the G League is for guys that are developing and trying to get to the NBA. So is that like what him driving for AlphaTauri, is that like not in F1, but in a league where, you know what I'm saying, maybe drivers try to raise their stock to get to F1? Is that right?
Currently sits at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship. So what's changed? We suspect it's the state of AlphaTauri's driver lineup and the struggles of rookie Nick de Vries. Nick isn't your standard rookie, having won a Formula E World Championship in 2021, but that extra experience has only added to expectations that he should adapt more quickly to F1, especially with teammate Yuki Tsunoda entering 2023 under pressure after underperforming in his first 2 seasons. But the opposite has happened, with Tsunoda impressing in a difficult car and de Vries struggling, trailing 6-2 in qualifying and 7-1 in races so far this season. And with the latest admission from Red Bull's Helmut Marko that Red Bull team boss Christian Horner was never keen on de Vries in the first place, it only adds to the vulnerability surrounding his job. Plugging Daniel Ricciardo in, who's already had a seat fitting in Italy, is the easy solution should Red Bull decide enough is enough with de Vries.
So it still is F1. With that is still F1. Okay, so he would still be in F1 if he were to get de Vries' seat.
Rumours of an in-season swap were dismissed earlier in the year, but have never really gone away. Sergio Perez's dip in form has only increased the rumblings, having not finished on the podium since being outclassed in Miami. The Mexican, whose current deal lasts to the end of 2024, has failed to make Q3 and the podium in the past 3 races, including crashing at Monaco and revealing Red Bull's trick floor layout to the world in embarrassing fashion. It's probably just about okay while Red Bull is dominating like this, but in a closer championship fight, Christian Horner would definitely want to see more from his second car. As much as many fans would love to see the Honey Badger back and immediately give him one of F1's greatest ever cars, we think it's pretty unlikely. Even before Red Bull's bosses beefed over De Vries' employment, Ricciardo was a viable option for AlphaTauri last year, but Dr. Marco instead made an ambitious play to bring IndyCar star Colton Herta into F1, trying to get the FIA to change the super license system to facilitate him. Not exactly.
That's pretty cool. So just take him from the IndyCar race and say, hey, come join the F1 team over here. Know what I'm saying? Come join F1 racing. It's a little better over here.
A vote of confidence for Ricciardo, who Red Bull have admitted needs a lot of work on the simulator to untangle the bad driving habits he's picked up during his failed McLaren stint. Plus, there's viable alternatives if Red Bull wants to move on quickly from De Vries. Liam Lawson is at the front of the queue for an F1 seat and is one of junior racing's most versatile talents, boasting a winning record in F2, DTN and Super Formula. Red Bull also have Ayumu Iwasa, impressing with his current form in F2. Franz Tost has always been keen on Mick Schumacher, the other high-profile reserve driver in the paddock, who is still only 24 and therefore much closer to the typical AlphaTauri driver profile. If Dr. Marco wants to try to dip into the IndyCar well again, that championship's best driver, McLaren's reserve, Alex Palou, has made no secret of wanting to fulfill his F1 ambition, even fighting a court battle with his current IndyCar boss Chip Ganassi to ensure he could get more seat time in a McLaren F1 car last year. If you're Daniel Ricciardo, are you sure you really want to come back? If we take him at his word, he clearly found the back end of his time at McLaren stressful, and this is a man who clearly wants to embrace celebrity culture, rolling up at fashion shows like the Met Gala, doing high-profile interviews, and even dabbling at broadcasting.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get another shot at it. It sounds like, you know what I'm saying, I guess for a lead, you only have 20 racers. You know what I'm saying? And so it's going to be real hard to get back in. I feel like him saying no to Haas, I'm not sure if that would have been a good idea for him to say yes, but obviously he didn't think, like, mentally he was in the right place to race. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not in his shoes. I'm not in his brain. So if he says mentally he's not in the right place, then, I mean, you got to take him at his word that he just, even if he would have said yes to that he wouldn't have been great. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have been good because he wasn't in the right mindset. And so took a year, cleared his mind. Sounds like he wants to come back, but it sounds like it's going to be very hard for it. Even if he does want to, for sure, sounds like it's going to be very hard for him to be able to.
Hosting his own alternative commentary in Canada with BoJack Horseman's Will Arnett. And many would agree there's no easier money than TV money. I would. And that's what makes Daniel Ricciardo so confusing. He says he definitely wants to get back to the F1 grid, now via any means necessary, and there are potential ways back for him, but he's also acting like a man who is preparing for life after F1. Either way, the popular Australian will most certainly be talked about, even if he isn't actually in a car. Do you think Daniel Ricciardo should still be in F1? And if not him, who should replace Nick De Vries? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe.
That was an interesting one. I don't know if Daniel should or should not be. I don't know how great he was when he was driving. Nick De Vries, it sounds like he's still young, so you know what I'm saying? It sounds like you can still mold him into something good, but I'm not sure how many bad years you get. I mean, like I said, it's only 20 racers, so it does sound like you get a lot of leeway, or you would get a lot of leeway in F1 if you're just not performing. But that's all we got. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. It's your boy D Neal. Out.